Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something practical, developing an extension for EverShop. As you know, EverShop is pretty flexible. You can customize it by creating extensions to add new features or tweak existing ones. Now let's jump right in. We're going to start from scratch and build a simple extension. Imagine you've got a shop that's just for adults, right? So you need age verification. Only those over 18 can come in. Here's how it's going to work. Someone steps into your shop, we check if they've given us their age. If not, off to the age verification page they go. If they've shared their age, we check if they're 18 or older. If they are, they're good to go. If not, they'll see a message saying they're not quite old enough. Alright, let's get started. I've got EverShop freshly installed here. First step, make a new folder called Extensions. EverShop doesn't do this for you, so you got to do it manually. Inside that extensions folder, make another one called AgeGate. This is where our extension code will live. That's it. Our first extension is born. Now we need to tell EverShop to load it. To do that, we gotta enable our extension in the configuration. Head to the root of our project and create a folder called config. Inside, make a file named default.json. If you've already got this file, no worries, you can skip this step. Now, let's move on to the JSON configuration file. We'll add or modify the system block and include the extensions property. This property holds the list of all our extensions. Next, we'll add our AgeGate extension. Start by providing a name for it. Let's call it AgeGate. Then add a resolve property. This property specifies the path to our extensions folder, which is a relative path from the root folder. In our case, it's extensions AgeGate. We also need to tell EverShop that this extension is enabled by adding another property called enabled with the value set to true. Lastly, we'll include the priority property and set it to a number like 10. This property helps EverShop manage component overriding conflicts. Cool, we've got our extension loaded. Now let's start building our AgeGate feature. First, we'll create a new page where customers can enter their age. To do this, head to our extension folder and create a new subfolder named Pages. Inside the Pages folder, create another folder named Front Store. EverShop provides both an admin and a front store section. Since our page is for the front store, we'll create our page folder inside the front store folder and name it AgeGate. Make sure the name of the page doesn't contain any spaces or special characters. Next, we're going to define our page route. We'll do that by creating a file named route.json inside our page folder. In this file, we specify the HTTP methods. In this case, it's the get method since it's a page. We'll also define a path for our page, something like AgeGate. Let's check out our new page. It's blank right now because we don't have any components for it yet. So let's go ahead and create our first component for the page. We'll call it ageform.jsx. Make sure the first letter is uppercase and there are no special characters. The file extension should be JSX. This component needs to provide a default export. We also need to tell EverShop where we want to display our component. We do this by exporting a constant named layout, which is an object with two properties, area ID and sort order. The area ID is the area where we want to insert our component. In this case, it's content. You can find the area ID using the React developer tools and looking up the area component. The sort order determines the order of our component in that area. Cool. As you can see, EverShop is now displaying our component. Let's continue by adding a form to our page. For now, we'll use the form component from EverShop and include one simple field for the age. There we go, we have our simple form for collecting age information. We'll come back to this form later. For now, let's create another page that will be shown to customers who are under 18. Great, we have two pages ready. Let's return to the age form. Now that we have a form, we need an API to receive the posted data and verify the age. To create an API, navigate to the extension folder and create a subfolder named API. Inside this API folder, let's create a folder for our API called Age Verify. Just like with the page, the folder name should not contain any spaces or special characters. Again, let's create a route definition for our API. In our case, the method will be post. The next property we need to add is the access property. This property helps EverShop control authentication for this API. In our case, the API should be accessible publicly, so we'll set the access property to public. Next, we need to add some middleware to this route. Go back to our API folder and add a JavaScript file. The middleware file name should be lowercase, and the file extension should be JS. The first middleware we'll create is the body parser middleware. This middleware will receive the post submission and parse it to JSON data. We'll use the body parser from Express, so let me just copy the code here. Next, we'll create the verify age middleware. This middleware will receive the age from customers and verify it. Let's go ahead and add some code. By the way, let me explain a bit about middleware function arguments. By default, a middleware function can take up to 4 arguments. The first 2 are request and response, just like an Express middleware. The third one holds the list of return values from previous middleware, and the last one is the next function. If the next argument isn't in the list, EverShop will handle calling next automatically. If it is there, make sure you call it in your middleware. Otherwise, the request will hang forever. Also, middleware can be synchronous or asynchronous function. In this case, this middleware will send the response to the client. It's the last middleware in the request chain, so that's why I include the next argument here without calling it. Okay, we've got a problem here. As you can see, we have 2 middleware in this route. So how do we know which one will be executed first? We need to make sure the verify age middleware runs after the body parser one, right? To do this, we need to update the name of the age verify middleware. We'll take the name of the body parser middleware, wrap it in square brackets, and put it before the name of the age verify middleware. It'll look something like this. This way, EverShop will execute the body parser middleware first, and then our verify age middleware. Okay, we have our API ready. Now let's go back to the form and make it work with the API. We'll add an action prop to the form. You could hard code the action URL with the API URL like this, but if the API path changes, the form will break, so we'll add the action prop dynamically. To get the action prop, we'll use a GraphQL query. From the component file, we'll export a GraphQL query like this. EverShop will execute this query and pass the return data as props to our component automatically. Now, let's add some logic to the form to handle the response from our API. Okay, cool. Let's test it out. Yeah, it looks like our form is working well now. Next, we need to build an age verification middleware. This middleware must be executed on every page to verify if the age is provided and if the customer is above 18. Head back to our extension folder and inside the front store folder, create a new subfolder named All. Middleware and components located in this special folder will be executed on every page. Let's go ahead and create a check age middleware. Okay, cool. Let's check it out. Yep, it works. So far, we've completed the age gate feature for our website. You can check out the source code of this extension through the link in the video description. I hope this tutorial helps you understand the fundamentals of EverShop extension development. Stay tuned for the next videos. Thank you.